So I'm going to get ready to remove the strings off this piano as part of the restoration process. And as part of that string removal, I do plan on sending the bass strings in for duplication. But as a backup, just in case anything would happen during that process, I also want to take a paper rubbing of the bass strings so that they could be replicated in case of a problem there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the process with a roll of paper and lay that out over the bass strings to get a rubbing for those dimensions, and then we can I'll at least have that as a backup in case anything would go wrong with the paper or anything would go wrong with the shipment of the bass strings for replication. I'm probably also going to take a rubbing of the entire pin field so I can mark the string sizes, especially for the treble. And that's just going to be more for my reference than anything. I wrote down the scale and counted, but this would also be a physical, something that I could have to replicate that if needed in the future. So that's just for my end, but I'll get set up and do that here with some rolled paper. It's hard to show up here, but I can pick this up and show you real quick. So let's come on down here and look. So there you can see I got the bass bridge with the pins sanded, and then I come down and I have all of the hitch pins. You see that? And then the rubbing all the way for the full length of the strings. And then up here you can see the other pins for the upper bridge section, and then the tuning pins. So I don't plan on using this as my method for replacing strings, but I have this just in case I need it. Okay, so I thought I would go through real quick and do a torque check on these pins. I don't actually have a beam style torque wrench, which would be ideal, but I have this inch-pound click wrench that goes up to 200 inch-pounds. So right now I've got it set essentially as a threshold. So I've got it at 100 inch-pounds, and I can go through and see if it clicks at all at 100 inch-pounds or if the pins start turning at that level. And that lets me know at least if my torque is higher than 100 or lower than 100. So I'm just going to start here at the end, and I'll start working this way. I don't have an actual tuning pin socket, but I've got one of these Craftsman universal style sockets, and this is just a 1/4 inch. I don't want to do a lot of cranking on the pins with these, and if I was planning on keeping these tuning pins, then I would probably not want to do this. But I do plan on changing these out for new tuning pins, so I'm just going to use this right now just to see where things are at, so I can check if my torque on the tuning pins is at or is higher than 100 inch-pounds or lower than 100 inch-pounds. So it's a pretty simple process. I've already got the torque wrench set. So I'll just put it on the pin and rotate. And that pin turned. So the wrench didn't click, so that tuning pin is below 100. Let's see here. Oh, that one also turned. That one turned. I'm feeling decent resistance, but these are all, so far all of them that I've checked. That one turned also. These are all showing less than 100 inch-pounds at the moment. That one turned. That one turned. That was a little softer. Turned. As you can see, the wrench hasn't clicked yet. And right now I'm rotating in the direction that would loosen the strings. I'm also going to be restringing this piano, so eventually I'm going to have to take these strings off anyway. So I'd rather loosen them than tighten them because these guys are rusty and I don't want to break them. These are all turning at less than 100. So it's just telling me that I will either need to go upsize on my pins, or my pins, or do some work on the tuning block, or pin block. I've contemplated putting in new pin block panels, but it's also an option to just go, upsized on the pins. This one's fairly soft. All of them loose. I would say anywhere between 5 to 10 inch-pounds and maybe 40 to 50 inch-pounds at most. So, for the most part, a lot of them felt consistent to each other within a regular range or normal range, but there was a couple that were maybe a little bit looser than others. But I'm definitely going to have to do something about that pin field because it's not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to use the number 2 tuning pins. I'm going to have to either oversize them or put in new pin block panels and drill them out to go back to standard size pins. Okay, I'm going to start working now on removing the strings. This is kind of as a progress towards removing the plate. So I have a Starpoint piano tuning socket here attached to my wrench. So I will use this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to ease the tension down in steps. So I'll go through and I'll do all of, I'll do all the strings, but only do one string per note for the first pass. And I'll do the same thing for the bass strings where there's duplicates. I'll just do one of the 2 strings. And then I'll go back through and I'll loosen all the others. So I'll kind of step it down and try not to take all the tension off at once, but to ease it down over a period of time here. So I'm going to start kind of towards the middle, and I'll just go the top string on each note all the way across, and then I'll do a single string on the bass, and then what I'll do is I'll come back to the middle, I'll do the middle string on each note, and then I think I'll go through then and just start relieving tension then evenly. So here we go, I'll do about 3/4 of a turn. So if I put this on here, I can turn it. It's about a half a turn, 3/4 of a turn. So then I'll go to the next one here. Half, 3/4. Half, 3/4. Half, 3/4. The reason for 3/4 of a turn is that it should give me enough to be able to get the beckets out, and the coils are loosened up, but it's not so loose that things are getting out of control. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to continue working on the piano. On the last set of clips, we actually pulled all the strings out of the piano. I bound up and saved the bass strings to send those back out for duplication. And then what we did is I actually just cut all the strings up here at the upper bridge so that we could throw away all the single strings and even the bass strings. I just left the coils on the pins. What I'm going to do now is I have my drill set up with a tuning pin star bit, and I'm going to just start removing the pins. I've got one of them removed already, so I'm going to pull these out one by one, and I'm just going to store them. I'm not going to keep them, but I'll hang on to them for now just for measurement purposes and things like that. But eventually these will all get replaced with new tuning pins. So I just got a bucket here. I'm going to be able to put those in there. And I'll go through one by one and just remove these. As much battery as I can muster from this, go ahead and take them out, just like this. There you go. My drill's not really struggling. I'm just not putting a lot of effort into it. I don't want to go too fast and overheat everything, so I'm just kind of working these out slower at about, half trigger or so speed. So just keep going down the line. I'm not sure what I like best. I like the speed of not having to do this. All the tuning pins in that section removed. Strings removed. The remaining coil pieces that I had on there. I'll probably call that good stopping point for now. I've still got the high treble range to go. And then also get some light there, but I've got the bass strings over there still to take care of as well. So, but I think this will be a good stopping point, and we'll pick up the rest in the next time we work on this.